Welcome back to a new video. So this is two workouts, one from Saturday, the other from Sunday. By the time I got to Sunday, I kind of knew like throughout the day, based on just how motivated I was to go and train, that I probably wasn't going to do the most. So it ended up being a pretty light session, which is why I threw at the end of this. I don't know if this means that I'll go back to just doing like one workout per video or two or whatever. I'll probably still do the weeks long. I think it was just happened to be a super large video, so probably just an anomaly for the most part. But on this Saturday, I actually went at like 8 o'clock at night. I didn't leave until like 11. I think I left for the gym at 8, so I didn't start training. I didn't train for 3 hours, but did the muscle snatches as you saw there up to 90, and then power snatching up to 100. When I look at the muscle snatches, I definitely think I need to keep them a bit closer, as far as the distance might get, the bar gets a little bit away from me sometimes, but that's kind of just the general theme of all the lifts, so it's not anything that's necessarily new. But got up to 100, didn't want to try anything new, then went on to doing full snatches, and you see here no straps, and that's kind of just a common theme if I'm doing just regular snatching or regular power snatching and regular snatching, no straps. And then on days where I'm doing like no foot stuff, to use straps, and just to make sure I save my hands but still get a lot of the practice. And I'm going to bias getting practice in the normal snatch than I am in no foot snatching, because it's more obviously a technical lift and it's more specific. But these were feeling pretty good, surprisingly. Got up to 110 here, then 115, which almost went behind me, but it was just because I extended a little bit too well, I suppose. But I was able to stabilize it, and I was very glad it didn't roll behind me. It just means just generally getting stronger. Missed this first 120 here, and then I just got focused up and made it on the second one. There, just a little bit out in front. I just got to keep it back, keep that left lat back and all of that, and then see here, did a much better rep, and then brought my feet together a little bit, did overhead squat. Typically something I just like to throw in randomly. It's nothing that I would necessarily plan to do in a training session. It's just something to do for, I guess, for fun, but certainly not going to hurt. Decided to come back to a movement I haven't done in a while, which is low hang cleans. And with the overhead presses, they're power cleans. With the push presses, powers as well. Then did a couple full as well. My best ever, I believe, is still 160. And I say still, but I haven't done it, I don't think, since really that time. And I was trying to look back to find when I had done it, or numbers for cleans and stuff like that, because I haven't done them individually in a little while. And I was able to actually get up to 158. So for the overhead pressing, I got up to, I failed this 95 there. I was able to get up to 90 with that, and then push press up to 110 for was a double or a triple. This one, I definitely need to get better at pushing behind my head. I just got lazy and pushed it forward a little bit. It wasn't really like a difficult rep, it just didn't do it as precisely as I wanted. But then the 110 was fine for the most part. But the 140 I did felt good, and the 155 I missed, and then went up to 158 and made that. So definitely have a little bit more in me. Obviously, I went heavy yesterday from this session, so it wasn't necessarily like super primed for another heavy clean, even though I was able to do one. And I actually did this for a triple. Wasn't sure if I did it for a double or a triple. Yeah, because the last one I had to really fight for. But really happy with that. And I think the low hang clean, I think it's a good, it's a movement I hadn't done in a while, and I hadn't realized just how good it feels to do. And there's not a lot of variations in the clean that I really like. Like no foot cleans always feel terrible. Power cleans I don't really like. It's good for, overhead pressing and push pressing and stuff. And there you can see I was just a little bit out in front. But this, it actually feels pretty nice to do, and it was kind of interesting. So here, just a little bit out in front, so it's a little bit crashy, but pretty good for such a high percentage, especially of this particular lift. I'm so happy with that. The main idea, or the goal of this session, was to be able to get some rack jerks in, which I haven't done for a while. So I worked up to, made 140 pretty well, and then missed 150, and then clarked 155. So definitely got some work to do as far as that goes. But as these workouts continue to progress, I think it's kind of the theme, or at least my idea of the progression, is still try to hit the strength work like normal, but to have like a exercise that, like, all right, this is going to be like the main focus. And this one I just kind of with the clean, I wasn't really expecting to be able to do a low hang clean that heavy. So probably impacted the jerks a little bit, but I also haven't done jerks out of the rack in a while. So that's also, a pretty big factor. I faced the other way for that last attempt just because that's typically how I do rack jerks, just, walking backwards out of the rack. But definitely got, like I said, got some progress or some room to improve with those and get more comfortable, getting back to that 150 plus mark out of the rack. And I think I'll be able to get there pretty soon. I think a lot of it is just like it felt heavy walking it out and just like building that front rack tolerance to that weight. Ended with some pulls here at 125. It was 4 sets of 3. And as you see here at the continuous clip, just did them like a cluster. So they were not too difficult, but really trying to emphasize when I'm pulling these to really keep it, close to the legs, but also to really feel the lats kind of pull myself back. And as I did training today, I was still thinking about that. And I think the trick or the thing that I can kind of get away from is still trying to flex my thoracic spine as well, and not just trying to, squeeze my lats down, but really trying to not necessarily hyperextend, because that's not really physically possible for me to do, but that kind of idea of getting into that, pushing into that extension of the spine as I start to pull the bar off, and really try to make sure that the bar stays close off the ground. It's not getting, pushed forward or anything like that. And so it's nice to have like something like that on snatch pulls to think about, because most of the time when I'm doing pulls, when they're not heavy, they're not really engaging to do. But other than like the basics of keep it close and try to move it fast, but this, like, I'm really thinking of technical things that will help me in the regular lift, but also like building that position with a maximal load in this case, or at least 100% or close to 100% of what I could snatch on a day like this in particular. Not that I probably could have done 125, but like in theory I could have, maybe. It's at least close to 100%. But they were feeling pretty good. And you see me there talking. I was actually live streaming this. It was actually kind of funny during this session. So it was during the power snatching. There was some random person. Nobody came the whole time because it was 8 or 9 o'clock at night or whatever, 10 o'clock at night. And I wasn't really planning on doing a live stream. It just happened to be like, I'm there late. Mine's well, since I'm already there and there's not going to be anyone probably. But there was someone that pulled up to the window outside. So if you look to the right of where I'm at, and like where those machines are, to the right up there, and I'm sure if you've watched enough of my videos, you would have seen the window and stuff over there. But there's like a glass door or whatever in that area, and someone pulled up, which is like, oh, someone's coming to lift. I was like, surprised. And I was actually just going to stop the live stream. I was like, well, if someone's going to come in, like, don't want them to, it's just them, me and that person. It'd be kind of weird. And I think they were knocking on the window. And it's funny because I can't really hear, I didn't have any music on, but they weren't really, like, I was like, I think they're knocking on the window. But I also don't have my glasses on, so I can't see them, if they're making a facial gesture or something. But also, like, there's rules to the gym. You going through the door and all of that, and I'm there by myself. So I'm certainly not going to go and interact with a person that's out there. But I was kind of concerned that, A, they were going to try to do, break the window or something like that. Or B, like, go mess with my car. Thankfully, when I left, there wasn't anything wrong with, they didn't do anything to it. But it was certainly kind of weird. And it's one of those things, it's like, I don't know. I'll never know, what the person wanted. But I do remember my friend having a situation, not exactly like mine, but similar to where he was there with his now wife. And they were training, and it was, I don't know if it was late, but it was a time where there wasn't other people at the gym, and there was like 2 weirdos that came, and he actually went and talked to them for a little bit, and they were asking about the gym and stuff, but it didn't seem like, it seemed suspicious. And for me, it's, I'm there by myself. I'm not going to answer, but also, like, hilariously enough, I just kept lifting because, like, I couldn't really hear the person that well, knocking on the window or whatever, but also couldn't really see them. So I, wouldn't be able to recognize them if it was someone that, went to the gym. They sat there for probably, felt like a while, but it was probably 10 minutes and ended up pulling away. But it's one of those things that's like, I'm not anticipating someone randomly coming to the gym at 9 o'clock at night. That's kind of weird. I also, it was making noise in there with me lifting weights, but I wasn't like blaring music. So it wouldn't have been like someone else at a business nearby or something like that. Not that like you could physically play the music loud enough to be disruptive in the way that the building is situated. But that was certainly weird, and glad I didn't go and interact with that person, because they can go through the normal process of getting into the gym, and then they can come interact with me that way if they want. But I'm not going to open the door for random people. It's not. It's a nice thing with private gym. You don't have to. You can just ignore people like that. But it's also probably for being safe in general. Even though I'm a large human, rather avoid conflict if I can. But anywho, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.